really an indication of how far this Alabama team has come under Nate Oats.
Most prolific three-point shooting team in the country. Alabama raining down the threes.
You got to credit this Alabama defense. They get back, they grind, they're right up in you. 6 triples in the first 4 minutes.
Tri-Green Equipment brings you the Nate Oats Show, and along with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, I'm Chris Stewart. So glad to have you with us. Coach, boy, what a tough week, but that's life in the SEC, especially as we get closer to March.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's no easy ones. I mean, Kentucky's Kentucky. They're fourth in the country and had a great start, one of the best shooting starts we've had all year, and get up 13 and just couldn't. Defense wasn't good enough to hold it off, but offensively we had it rolling pretty good there. Keon Ellis really put on a show.
And then follow that up with a great victory in Nashville. We'll see highlights of that game against the Commodores later, but let's start things off talking about Kentucky, and the conversation has to begin with Keon Ellis.
Yeah, actually his first 5 threes, he was cooking. We tried to keep finding him. You know, he got it going pretty good. He was hitting shots at a high level, ended up with 7 threes on the day. You know, and him and Shaq together combined to go, I think, 12 of 23. So, you know, he had it going. We just, you know, we built up a 13-point lead. He was a big part of it. Our defense wasn't good even during the 13-point lead. It wasn't where we needed it to be. Our offense just so good. We got up 13. And, you know, Keon got us started. Shaq got going there after Keon got going. You know, he ended up with 5 of his own. So both those guys are more than capable of getting it going. You know, we were shooting at a pretty high level. We ended up making 14, and 12 of those 14 came from those 2 guys right there.
Special. They look like they're playing in the rec, but they're really playing at Rupp. I mean, they absolutely calm and relax.
It's a pretty prestigious place to put on a show like they did. But, you know, our defense has to get better. It's kind of been our problem all year. You saw Noah played pretty well. You know, he hit the 3. Scored inside. You know, he told us this past week he's going to come back again next year. So we're super happy to get him back. I think he's going to be dynamite next year with a year under his belt in the SEC. He's starting to really play well and come into his own here.
We'll talk more about him a little bit later in the show, but you see the numbers, unfortunately, a 9-point loss. And you said afterwards you felt disappointed because you felt like you missed a real opportunity there.
Oh, we did. I mean, they didn't have 2 guards, and we had a great shooting performance, and it's a game we should have won if we'd have guarded like we needed to guard, and we didn't get a win. It's hard to win at Rupp. You know, we won there last year, but, you know, that was the best team Alabama's had in a long time, and we had a great defensive team. So it would have been nice to get back-to-back wins. I felt offensively we were definitely good enough to get the win. We just couldn't guard well enough to get it.
They struggled to guard Keon Ellis, though. We've already talked about him a little bit, but let's see more of the incredible performance that Keon had at Rupp Arena.
Kick, and Ellis cans another. Ellis will take and make the 3. They screen, clean look. Ellis from deep. Ellis, ball fake jumper. Oh, he's feeling it. Keon Ellis. Clear it. Ellis got a 3. Ellis makes his move. Elevation for Keon Ellis.
Tough one at Rupp, and Coach, normally it's a tough one at Memorial Gym, and frankly it was, but you got the outcome you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it was really tough. They're playing well. They had won 4 straight there. It's not an easy place to play. Stackhouse has them playing hard, tough, physical. You know, they've got the leading scorer in the league in Pippen, so they've got some tough physical play, defense. They set great screens, get their shooters open. You know, they're a much improved team. I think they've won as many games this year in SEC play as they had won in the 3 previous combined. So not an easy place to play down at the half, come back, build up a lead, have a 11-point lead late, and they end up cutting it to 1. Our guys showed enough resolve to close the game out. We got to stop there at the end. So, we got to do a better job closing. I think we're up 10 with 4.5 to go, and been nice to win that by 15, but at this point, we're going to take a win any way we can get it.
Tough place to win, tough place to coach. In the old days, they used to make the coaches stand on the baseline. Now you're on an island. You're out there by yourselves on the sideline, but able to get in the ear of your players a bit. And JQ was really good.
No, JQ was really good. We kind of challenged him to play harder on defense, brought him off the bench. He came in, played really hard, attacked the rim, was aggressive on offense. It's ironic how that works too. He's really focused on defense. All of a sudden, you go 3 for 3 from 3. We've been trying to tell some of these guys this year, but you know he got it figured out this game. We just need to have him keep it figured out for the rest of the year. Because I think he's maybe the best point guard in the country when he's locked in, playing like he was that night.
And if he's not, then maybe the guy that we're going to see now.
Yeah,
could
no,
be.
JD's coming along too. He played really hard too. He ended up winning the hard hat award with the most blue collar points. He flying around, he had some blocks, he rebounded the ball. It's, you know, multiple games now he's rebounded the ball really well. And he's starting to play a lot harder, starting to figure it out. You know, and he had 5 turnovers in the first half, came back in the second half and then turned the ball over 1 time. So, you know, he's showing growth in that way too, where he can have maybe a little bit of part of a bad game started and then get it fixed as the game goes on.
Double-double for JD. Noah Gurley, those some big boards and big buckets late.
Yeah, no, he played well. He had the big block for us. He had some rebounds. He's been playing well. He's been shooting the ball pretty well for us, knocking down some threes in the game. You know,
That one counts.
Yeah, we need every point we can get this game. So it goes in the, hits the rim, the backboard, whatever first, we're gonna take it.
That's right.
He did a good job on the glass too. And Rojas was big. He took the 2 charges, had some tough finishes at an and one. Like he gave us, you know, Charles was in foul trouble, so him and Noah really gave us some good minutes down there inside for us.
Did you coach that? Did you teach that?
Yeah, we work on that a lot.
Good job.
Look away behind the back. I used to do that a lot when I played.
Understand.
You saw Rose hops there too. Had a wide open dunk, did he?
Yeah, they don't ask you how, they just say how many. You don't see him on there. Darius Miles gave you some good minutes too, Coach. He was in foul trouble, probably would have played more, but had a big block shot, had a couple of assists as well.
Yeah, it was huge. The block from behind, he had ended up 3 blocks. He had the 2-handed blocks where he pinned it to the backboard.
Right.
He was good. He made the free throw late. You know, he's playing well for it. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. He had 4 fouls in, 10 minutes? But yeah, if we keep him out of foul trouble, he's been playing really well for us here lately.
All right, Coach, let's go back to all access from Nashville as the Tide rolled over the Commodores.
Let's get 5 tough guys on the glass, all in on every shot. You guys with me? Let's be the harder playing, more max effort, more disciplined team.
I'm never, ever stopping believing in what we got going, man. If one step, we all step, all right?
We're going to guard, we're going to rebound, and we're going to run. Let's go together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
Davidson knocks home the 3. Ellis. Do it up to Beniaco. Nice catch by the big fella. Here's Ellis. Oh, there you go. That was a high-level block by Miles, and it results in a layup by Davison at the other end. They found the right guy. Shackelford knocks it home. Davison. Steal and dunk. Easiest basket of the night for Beniaco. He does. Deep 3. Bottom. Oh, mercy. Pass around. Gurley. Got it. He'll head to the line. Take it away. Rojas. Got it. Back pass, Rojas plays it in with the shot clock expiring. Shaq, corner, 3, bottom, huge make, Jake Shackelford. Run clock, zeros, buzzer, and Bama hangs on.
A little bit of character win, to be honest with you, because we down at the half, I mean, turnovers were bad, we were struggling on offense. You could have easily folded it at various points in the game.
DJ! Come on! DJ! Oh my God! Mutt.
Look out, lob pass, Gurley the flush. And then Noah throws it home on the other end.
My dad's a pastor, and my mom's a special agent for the government, so they're both responsible. So just seeing them lead every day and just learning from them and other leaders before me that I played with. Oh, when I was at Furman, we played Villanova the year after they won the national championship, and we ended up beating them. And we also beat Loyola Chicago that year, so that was 2 Final Four teams. I grew up in a family of 4, my mom, my dad, me, and my sister. My dad put a basketball in my hand when I was 1 year old, so I've kind of always been in love with it. I've always played it growing up. And then my sophomore year in high school, that's when I truly fell in love with it. Started working out multiple times a day and just falling in love with the grind. I learned that every time you step on that court, every time you lace them up, you better be ready to go. Learn how to be a great teammate, play for others rather than just playing for yourself. The importance of sharing the basketball, and yeah.
Coach, he was talking about big games when he was at Furman and teams they beat. One team that he almost beat a couple of times was your Alabama Crimson Tide.
Oh, they're a good team. I mean, they're well coached. They do a good job. They have good players. He was one of them. I mean, we had a hard time guarding him. That's why we went after him in the portal. So, no, he's a great kid, really good teammate, starting to really play well. You know, and at Furman, we looked, when he played big games, he had bigger numbers. Like, he stepped up for the big games. So it's different when you got to do it every night. Like in the SEC, it's big, but he's definitely able to play. I mean, he's an SEC caliber player easily. And when he comes back next year, he should be trying to be all conference.
Sure.
Because he can shoot it well, he's athletic, he moves well, he can score in the post. He's skilled, he can pass, he's athletic. There's not much he doesn't do well. Just had to get used to the pace, the athleticism, everybody around him. And, some physicality, he's got to rebound a little bit better. But man, you see his athleticism, he can knock down threes. I think he could be a 40% shooter from 3.
And a great person on top of it, Coach, that when next year he's really able to take ownership, so to speak, of the team, that could be a different dynamic as well.
No, it really could. And he's a good leader. He tries to step up, but it's a little bit harder in year one when you just walk in your first year. Now that he's been here, he's been a part of the program. People understand him. He's comfortable here. I think he's going to really be a good leader for us next year. Yeah, you see his blocks. I mean, he had a huge block there against Vanderbilt that really helped win the game. He had the 2 buckets late against Arkansas. He scored our last 4 points on Jalen Williams, who's one of the best bigs in the league. I mean, he's had a big part in some of our big wins this year.
Well, good that we won't be honoring Noah Gurley because he'll have another year back, but we will be honoring some seniors on senior night. We'll talk about that next. Even though it's not the last home game, I love, Coach, the fact you do senior night on a Saturday so everybody's families can have a chance to get there. A couple of guys that technically we said goodbye to last year, Tyler Barnes and Britton Johnson, young men who got the extra year because of COVID, and terrific young men that I know have been a lot to your program.
No, they're great. They both called me after the year and said they were thinking about coming back. I said, I'd love to have you back. So, I mean, they were part of what we did last year. I told the team all the time, even though they don't play much, they're a big part of the culture we built. They play hard. They lead, and we pull them in the leadership meetings. That was Tyler at Kentucky last year when we put him in. He scored at Kentucky. He's from Kentucky, so it was great. BJ's an Alabama kid. There were stretches there where we were trying to get the team to play hard. That's one thing he'll always do is play hard. He's been a great scout player. He came in, made some threes in games for us. I'm comfortable putting him in a game, too, to be honest with you, both those guys. These other 3 guys will all graduate or have graduated, and we're planning on them this being their last year with us. Obviously, with the COVID thing, things are different. Who knows what happens, but we're going to honor these 3 guys because they're all seniors that either have already graduated or will graduate. So, Rojas has graduated already. He was knee out, missed his first year with us, played the last 2. He's had to come back from 2 knee surgeries. He's just a tough, hard-nosed winner. That's the best way to describe him. He's a winner. Talks, he gets his teammates fired up, he takes charges, he does whatever it takes to win a game. Keon's been huge for us. Came off the bench last year as a junior. He came in as a junior college transfer. He's only been with us 2 years, but he's had some big offensive outputs. He's real efficient. He doesn't take bad shots, plays hard on defense. Can put him on a great player and kind of lock him up. You can put him on a kind of an off player and kind of muck everything up off the ball and get steals and kind of play him like a free safety. He's a really good defender.
And then this guy.
Yeah, tournament MVP. Proud of him. He's had some ups and downs throughout his career. you know, since high school even. You know, he's battled through a lot of adversity. I'm proud of him. You know, he's a huge part of what we did last year. He had big games down the stretch, played great for us in March. I think he's starting to hit his stride here as we get closer to March. I mean, when he's locked in, I think he might be the best point guard in the country. So explosive, so athletic, so skilled. Can get his teammates involved, can get himself going. So good group of seniors. Been through a lot of wins with him in these last few years we've been here. So I'm proud of him. Happy we get to honor him on a weekend when a lot of people can hopefully be there.
Hope that we will indeed have a packed house as the Tide takes on South Carolina on what will be senior night. We come back to wrap things up right here on the Nate Oats Show. Want to be playing your best ball at the end of the season, Coach. The women's team doing that right now. A couple of huge wins as of late for Christy Curry's squad.
Shoot, the other night they played Tennessee here, 8th in the country, so stuck around a little bit. So that's big. But you know, Christy's been here a lot longer than me. Apparently, she kind of owns Tennessee. I think she's 6 out of 9 or something.
Yeah. Never beaten them, and she's won 6 out of 9.
Yeah, so I guess I maybe should have expected it. I thought it was a big upset win, but they were number 8 in the country. Maybe it wasn't an upset. So I was happy for him. I mean, Christy's good. She's good to talk to. I congratulate her after the game.
Big win at Texas A&M, too, against a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Gary Blair's pretty good. It's his last year, so they're playing hard for him at home. It's tough to get a win at Texas A&M against them. So we're just getting the water bath. They had a good week.
They had a real good. When you get to celebrate twice, it's a big deal indeed. Hopefully, you'll get that opportunity. And the home game against South Carolina, a very tough one on Saturday.
No, I mean, they're a hard-playing, tough group. They handled Mississippi State really well in their last game. And Frank gets them to play really hard. I mean, they're athletic. They play really hard. They come downhill. If you're not tough, you're going to get blown out by them. So, you know, it's kind of ironic. I thought Vanderbilt been playing tough. This is one of the tougher teams, and Texas A&M's kind of hangs their hat on being hard-nosed and tough. And LSU at one point was number 1 defense in the country. I think they're number 3 right now. So we've got 4 really tough, hard-nosed, like you got to bring your hard hat to work, kind of blue-collar games to close the season out. So, which is good, and we're challenging our guys. We need to get better at this stuff. So, you know, we play 4 of the toughest teams in the league to close the year out, and South Carolina is one of them.
Texas A&M will be the team that you face next, Coach, and that one will be on the road to wrap things up.
No, we're at home against Texas A&M.
That's right.
But that's all right. I'm supposed to know our schedule.
You're right.
And then we're on
I am too, though.
We're on the road against LSU.
Thank you.
But no, we get back-to-back homestands, which will be great. Hopefully we get Coleman packed out. We got senior night Saturday against South Carolina, and then A&M's, you know, they started out hot in the year, went through a little slump, but they're capable of beating anybody because they play defense so well, and they're just so tough and hard-nosed.
Tough team indeed, but again, you do get them at Coleman Coliseum. Thankfully, back-to-back games.
Yeah, back-to-back home games.
Coach, always appreciate the time. Best of luck in those 2 home games, and we look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Nate Oats Show.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,